Hello everyone and welcome to this important electrical qualification update from EAL. Just a welcome from myself, Paul Smithies. I am a Building Services Engineering Technical Advisor for EAL, and it's my pleasure to welcome guest speaker, Bill Lockyer. Hi, Bill.
Good morning. Thank you. I know. It's always the way you always forget that little click at the top, don't you? Good morning, everybody. And hopefully, from my perspective, to give a little bit of advice and guidance on the new requirements from NET.
Thank you, Bill. So just a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. If anyone has any objections, please let me know. We work from a remote environment, so if there is any background noise, apologies in advance. Please refrain from posting any questions in the chat. Any questions you have, please post up in the Q&A section you'll see at the top bar of the page, and I will endeavour to get back to you probably after the meeting, but if there's enough time I will try and field some questions during the meeting. Okay, so this webinar contains an overview of the recent updates to the following qualifications: the 1605 Level 3 MVQ Diploma in Installing Electrotechnical Systems and Equipment, the 601-7345-2 Electrotechnical Qualification, the 603-5982-1 Electrotechnical Experienced Worker, the 610-1335-3 Electrotechnical in Dwellings, and the 610-2859-9 Electrotechnical Dwelling Experienced Worker. So the agenda is we will be looking at the performance unit updates, expanded direct observation requirements, evidence requirements for portfolios, retirement to the 1605, replacement for the 1605, qualification completion times, an update from Bill at NET, and some other EAL news. So, updated performance unit assessment strategy applies to all new learners registered from the 1st of May 2026 on the following qualifications: the 610-7345-2 Electrotechnical Qualification, the 603-5982-1 Electrotechnical Experienced Worker, the 610-1335-3 Electrotechnical in Dwellings, and the 610-2859-9 Electrotechnical in Dwellings Experienced Worker. The expanded direct observation requirements from the 1st of May 2026. The direct observation requirements are bringing into focus the following units within the 610-7345-2 and the 603-59821. They now bring into focus a unit 04A, apply and design and install practices and procedures. The 05A, terminations and connections of conductors. And unit 06, inspection, testing and commissioning. Within the 610-1335-3 and the 610-2859, the following performance units are also brought into focus. Unit 004, applied design and installation practices and procedures, including terminations and connections of conductors in dwellings. And Unit 006, inspect, test, report and commission electrical systems in dwellings. So the performance units for health and safety, EDP 3-001 and NETP 3-01 are still subject to direct observations on at least 2 separate occasions in the workplace by a qualified assessor. As evidence is now captured holistically, the additional observations mentioned previously should be easily integrated into your observation practice. Requirements for a minimum of 1 in-person assessment still remain in place. So, portfolios must contain a range of evidence that attests to the learner's competence. Photographs alone are no longer acceptable. Any photographs submitted should show the work whilst it's being constructed and upon completion. The use of videos showing work being carried out is now strongly recommended, with recorded live streaming preferred where possible. It's best practice for learners to take responsibility for building and maintaining their own digital or paper-based portfolios. The updated qualification specifications for this and other EAL qualifications are available in EAL online services. Excuse me. EAL Level 3 Diploma 1605 has an operational end date of the 31st of October 2026 and a certification end date of the 31st of October 2030, thus allowing you plenty of time to finish anyone who's already on that program. So a replacement for the 1605. So non-apprentice adult learners 19 plus who are working in the industry can now undertake a new non-apprentice pathway within the following qualifications, and these are as a replacement for the 1605. We have the 601-7345-2 and the 610-1335-3 are now both available for non-apprentice pathway registration. So completion times for the 7345 and the 1335. Completion of the qualification will generally occur after the minimum expected time stated for each route. This is 24 months for installation and maintenance electricians on the 7345. And for domestic electricians, that would be 18 months, and that is the 1335. Learners completing in less than these minimum durations are expected to be identified during your skill scan, and centres will need to notify us via email. Please take note of this email and notify us as timely as possible with any students that are identified during the skill scan as potentially being completed in less than the minimum expected times. Any reduced completion time frame must be supported by an auditable skill scan and action plan. All non-apprentice learners must also complete a background form, which will be held by centres. All required documentation will be available in the appendix of the qualification specification and is also available in an interactive format via EAL services. They'll also be subjected to enhanced scrutiny at AM2 Gateway, which nicely brings me over to my colleague Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks very much, Paul. I think you've got control of the clicky bit on the slides, I presume. So, yeah. So one of the first and foremost things is, as you said, with the retirement of the 1605, of course, many of you are aware that the AM2 was part and parcel of that qualification. Well, within the change to the new qualification, the 7345, of course, the AM2 now comes outside of the qualification structure. So due to a situation where we have to report data back to various organizations, it is slightly rebranded as the AM2P for the 7345 non-apprentices and the AM2PD for the domestic electrician, and this is of course replacing the AM2. So basically with this new assessment, what we've got is it actually mirrors the apprenticeship and the experienced worker assessment. So it's not as if that we've basically got two separate assessments. They are all merging into the same assessment, but unfortunately, as I've already said, with data collection, we have to call them something slightly different. So There are resources and information on the NET website, and very, very soon we should be uploading checklists for AM2P and AM2PD. So from that perspective, it will give you a flavour of what's actually involved in the assessment. Of course, if you have already been involved with apprentices, then you would have a rough idea of the type of skills that we will be assessing during the assessment process. The difference this time, of course, is now that each gateway will be scrutinised, as Paul intimated earlier on in the slides. So what we will do is 100% check on any gateways coming through. So what we'll be doing with that is that if we see that there is no evidence that the candidate has got through the qualification in under 24 months, this will then be referred to TESP, who will be keeping a log of those learners that are eligible to go through on a shorter timescale. So TESP will be in touch with the awarding organisation, and they will then give us the approval to progress that gateway forward. So the gateway itself, once you put in for it, will be held by NET until such times as we've got the information to say, yep, all good. We can then progress that, and then the candidate will then be able to book their AM2P or PD, depending on the centre. So from a gateway perspective, currently, if you've been uploading to gateways for 1605, you will be aware that all we require is proof of registration or learner history to ensure that you're actually registered onto the qualification, and that a number of the performance units have been completed. There's going to be some changes to the AM2P and AM2PD gateways, in as much as that there will be additional requirements to be submitted, and those will actually be the correct and completed checklist. Now, on our website, it's not quite there at the moment, but the AM2P checklist and AM2PD checklist will be there. So we will be looking for the correct checklist to be completed, signed, and that it actually proves that all the criteria are adequately covered from a knowledge perspective and skills perspective. And if any of those are in the low or limited, then we would expect to see details of an action plan going forward. So it would also need a copy of the relevant certificate from the awarding organisation. So from EAL's perspective, it will be a copy of the 7345 certificate, which can be electronic, or a scanned copy of the paper-based one. There also needs to be included a copy of the learner history. This gives us an indication of when the actual candidates were registered onto the qualification. So it gives us that period of the 24 months that we will be looking for. And as I've already said, that if it doesn't show that they've been on program for 24 months, then this will then be referred to TESP and the gateway held. A candidate will not be able to book an assessment until a gateway has been approved. I think that sort of like covers it from that perspective, and it is no real difference from the point of view of the 7345 qualification. The assessment will mirror the apprenticeship assessment and the experienced worker assessment, and for the domestic, that will also mirror the apprenticeship domestic assessment and the experienced worker domestic assessment. From a point of view of centres, the number of centres across the country are increasing. We've got new centres that are in the pipeline from the southwest, the northeast, and the northwest, and a couple in the home counties as well. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Bill. Okay, some other EAL news. We're pleased to announce the launch of our new air source heat pump qualification, the 610-7301-5. Registrations are now available. Please scan the QR code on the qualification specification for more details. Also, relatively new news, the JIB Skills Development Fund may be able to cover as much as 75% of the course fees for this new qualification. Please visit the JIB website or scan the QR code for more details. We're also pleased to announce the launch of our new resources portal. For any of you who's looked for our resources in recent days, you'll see that it has been relatively complicated. So we're now pleased to launch the EAL Learn. This should simplify your access to our free resources. No longer do you have to search by the entire qualification code. You can use a part qualification code or search by key phrases as well. Please scan the QR code for more details. Just a little bit of a reminder, we have our technical advisors, myself, Paul Smithies, technical advisor for BSE, and also Andrew Beresford. I come from a mainly electrical background. Andrew comes from a mainly plumbing and heating and gas background, but we do cross it over between us. The services we can offer as technical advisors are provide delivery and assessments guidance. We can offer you face-to-face or virtual centre support, curriculum planning and delivery support, regular update webinars like this and resources, engagement in qualification feedback. So if you have any feedback to give us on any of our qualifications, please feel free to contact myself or Andy. So simply put, we are here to help you. We are not EQA. We stand separate from that. So if you need any support at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to us and we will be here for you. Well, that concludes the webinar. Thank you ever so much for your time.